This isn't usually something I'd ever say, but I feel like some reason it will resonate with some people. So I'm just going to come and say it. You are already enlightened. Whatever idea of enlightenment you have, just throw it away for the time being. You are already enlightened. And the reason I say this is because it's actually true. If you were to realize right now, I'm gonna prove it to you. This is like the 90%, 99% of my job in the community is just trying to help people realize they are already enlightened. They're already what they're looking for. Now, enlightenment is not this experience. It's not something that is. It's not this Buddhist idea of enlightenment where it's just you're this transcendent, almost godlike being who is completely above and beyond everybody else. It's nothing like that whatsoever. In this experience right now, and you can use your own radar and compass to whether you trust me or not, you are aware of this experience. You have sights, smells, touches, tastes, sounds, and you have thoughts. You have the five senses and you have thoughts. We have thought and perception. Perception is the entire spectrum of experienceable experiences, sight, sound, smells, blah, 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 the five senses. Thought is anything that comes in the form of thought, belief, which is a pattern of thoughts, memory, and visualization. You see, thought is mind stuff, perception is world stuff. And what you'll find is that you find these categories, but what we usually mistake is the awareness of these categories. So we have the five senses, and then we have a sixth fundamental primary sense. It's right here. It's usually mistaken because you've got to use your other hand. And it's the first primary sense. Then maybe we can even call it the palm. It's that which allows all the other senses to be sensed, you see? So we have the five senses of experience, then we have that fundamental primary sense, our sense of being. And it's that primary sense that gives us the ability to even have any senses at all, because being is awareness. Awareness is being. You see, you are being aware. You are awareness. And this awareness usually is mixed up in the layers of perception. We think, I am this feeling, I am this thought, I am this body, I am this image, I am this face, I am this mind. And then we mix ourselves up with the content of our experience, which then entangles the sense of what we are and who we are with the physical, tangible qualities of experience, which are always coming and going. Then when we believe ourselves to be that, that's when we suffer. That's what creates suffering, obviously, because the turbulency of the body and the mind, thought and feeling are so up and down. If we believe we're that, we are constantly at the beck and call of like every other possible circumstance. Like someone could do something and we instantly react to it because we don't have any solidity. We don't know what we are. We're just fleeting sensations, thoughts and emotions, which can then be interrupted by other senses, thoughts and emotions and someone's consequent actions. So this is why this causes so much suffering. Not only that, but inherent in your belief that you are mixed up in this physical body and mind. In other words, you believe that somehow your awareness is inside the brain, inside the mind, and limited to the body and the mind. What you tell yourself unconsciously with that belief is that you are fundamentally non-existent. Because for something to exist, actually exist, the cloud exists, but ultimately it doesn't because it's made of water. The water exists, you see? Everything has its own ultimate existence. This pool table exists in front of me, but no, it doesn't. It's made of wood. The wood exists. The pool table doesn't. The pool table is a combination of positions of the wood. The wood, it's not really a pool table, it's wood. You see, if we were to watch a film on the TV, the movie is not real. The fire-breathing dragon is not real. You see? No one's getting killed. No one's getting beheaded. It's a colors on a screen. So the movie, the existence of the movie is coming from the screen. The existence of the shed is coming from the wood. The existence of the ocean is coming from the water. The ocean's not really an ocean. It's made of water. You see, if an alien come down and said, hey, can you go to the ocean? They'd say, what are you talking about, sir? They'd say, I don't know the ocean. I see, they say, you're the big pool. The big pool of what? You say, well, the big pool of, you don't say the big pool of ocean, you say the big pool of water, because it's not an ocean, it's water. So this is why we, in our experience, we are saying that the body and the mind, something that come and go, that do not fundamentally exist, because nothing that comes and goes can ultimately exist. For example, if something can be born and something can die, it has to find itself in a greater reality. It cannot be its own ultimate reality, you see. Anything that starts and ends is borrowed from a greater reality, borrows its reality from something else. So in our experience, that which doesn't come and go, doesn't start and end, is awareness. I'm not going to go into too much detail now. We probably already have come to this point watching this video. If you haven't, I can share the videos with you. Just leave a comment. We are fundamentally awareness. This awareness is our experience right now. It's that which is aware of these 5 faculties of experience: sight, smell, touches, tastes, sounds. So when I say that you're already enlightened, you are already that awareness. That awareness is already what you are. And it is infinite. It is not dependent upon anything in experience in order to be, because you can know it right now. The minute you know you're aware, you are knowing awareness irrespective of any other thing. You don't use anything in order to know that awareness. So these things that exist, everything borrows its existence. You, awareness, do not borrow your existence from something else. You see? What do you borrow your existence from? You are existence. You are the source of existence. The body and the mind borrow their existence from you. So if you believe that you are aware only because you are in the body and the mind, or even worse, that you are alive only because you're in the body and the mind, then you believe you fundamentally don't exist. Because in order to exist, you have to be standalone. You cannot be limited to anything. So if you believe you are limited to something like the body and the mind, which come and go, are born and die, you believe that you are lesser than something that doesn't exist. What do you think would happen to yourself or your experience if you believed you were something that doesn't exist? Well, you would create fear. Fear is the experience of non-existence. Fear is the belief that you do not fundamentally exist, and it's the focusing of that belief. Every time you feel fear, it is the belief in pure non-existence, the experience of non-existence. That's what we're creating for ourselves. That's why people are living in fear. That's why people do anything it takes to find happiness, because happiness is the realization of our true life, even if it's an unconscious one. So everyone's seeking for happiness because everyone's trying to remove this belief that they don't exist, because they do exist. They fundamentally exist. The essence of all beings is one being, and that one being is the source of existence. So if we then believe that we are limited to this individual experience, we will create the experience of non-existence, and that the experience of non-existence is a special experience. It's the fact of, I am so existing that I can't not exist. So the best thing I would do by that belief is create the only experience of my non-existence, where I'm existing, but living as though I do not. And living an expression as though I do not, which is a life filled with fear, suffering, anxiety, and whatever else. So when we realize that the one that is alive is not limited to the body and the mind, and in fact, infinite, not limited to anything finite, then we realize that we are infinite, and therefore we remove this belief in separation, and therefore we find freedom. So if you are stuck believing, I need to search for something, forget about this traditional search of enlightenment. It's a load of, it's taken you to the right place. Now just get interested in what I'm sharing with you right now. You don't need to worry about enlightenment. Enlightenment is something that will be a byproduct of just understanding what I'm sharing right now. You see, you are already enlightened. You are already this pristine, infinite, loving essence of all the spiritual traditions. That is what you fundamentally are. It's just this one belief that you think you are limited to the body and the mind. If you uprooted that belief, you would find ultimate freedom. That's simply it. That's the whole process, top to bottom. Not much else to do other than that, apart from then just integrating that understanding. But at that stage, you'll be pretty freaking happy. So nothing else will be much of a problem for you. So just focus on that one belief. Am I limited to the body and the mind? Yes or no? Make that the priority of your search. You are infinite, but if you don't believe you're infinite, then the best place you can be is to know that you're not finite. Just know that there is no proof or evidence to suggest that you're neither. You just be in this unknowing. I don't know. I ultimately don't know. That's the best place to be other than knowing. Because then you're not restricted to believing yourself to be limited. Because if you don't know if you're limited, perfect. You're not going to behave like you're limited, but you've got to actually not know if you're limited or not. You can't just say, I don't know if I'm limited, but then secretly still believe that you are. You've just got to know, well, I have no evidence to suggest that I'm limited. I have no evidence to suggest that I'm infinite. That's a very good place to be. It's simply not knowing. That not knowing will take you to the next step. The next step is to realize that you are absolutely 100% infinite. So you're never going to come to this realization that I am enlightened. Could you imagine that? Absolutely not. You're not going to have that realization. You'll have a realization that, oh, I've always been enlightened. The thing I've been looking for was always what I am. I'm already that. That's always going to be the recognition, if anything. You see? And then you'll realize, oh shit, everybody else is too. Like everybody. And you'll be like, how does nobody know this? But then you'll have compassion and you'll have understanding, and then you'll have this deeper wisdom within yourself that says, well, obviously not everyone is going to understand that. And therefore we apply concessions, we help people, we don't just kind of abruptly try and wake people up. You see, it's not a compassionate thing to do. We all have timings, and most of that stuff we have no idea why, or need we know why, but we can be an open channel, an open vehicle to help people recognize this too. So we don't force feed it down someone's throat, you see? So it'll always be this normal recognition. I've always been this way. It's what I am. Not been this way as a body and a mind, but I've been this way essentially. Therefore, I've always been infinite and free, and all those times, oh my God, that thing, that, oh my God, and it all makes sense. You see? You've always been this way. You have to see it that way, because you're never going to come to a state of mind or a realization. That's old news. That's old paradigm stuff. It's a pre-recognition that we've already recognized. We just weren't sure that was the recognition. Well, let this be a testimony to that recognition. Hope this was helpful, guys. I have a free community. The link is in the description. I do meditations every single week and give guidance away on these topics. If you'd like to join, I'd love to see you there. Have a beautiful day, guys. Take care. Bye.